Welcome back. So for the mothers, I hope you guys enjoyed your Mother's Day. I hope you guys had a really good day, an amazing time. I know here it was nice out, so hope you were out spending time with your friends, your family, your kids, whatever the case may be. But before we kick off the video, I would like to make a quick announcement that me and my wife, so we have decided that we are going to relaunch our business. So we are going to relaunch our soy wax candle business, so Kai's Wicks LLC. So we did go through a redesign. So this is the way that our new candles look compared to our old model. So I call this the prototype on what the candles used to look like. So we gave it a more modern look to fit today's style candles, right? So, during the time that we were away, I really had to sit back, do some more testing, do more research, market research, and we were able to come up with a more improved and better product. So we do have an Etsy page up, which I'll have the link here in the video. But as you can see, we did go ahead and put our candles up. So as you see, if you were with us before, we do now offer 4 ounce and 10 ounces into the black jars. We also offer a 16 ounce 3-wick candle now, which shows there. And then we have our 8 ounce as well. So again, as you can see, this is free shipping. Even though that we were away, again, we took the time and we really wanted to educate ourselves on the candle industry itself, which I think we did a successful job at, which is why we're announcing the relaunch. So for the time being, we are going to run a promo code until the 1st of July. So this will be active through the 1st of July. It gives you 30% off at the store. And as you saw, we do offer free shipping. This is just something that we really wanted to do, something that when we did take a pause, we didn't get rid of anything because deep down, I felt like it's something that we were going to eventually pick back up, and today's that day, which I'm excited about. So that promo code's there, and if you give us a comment and share the video, I will also give you, I'll enter you in for a free candle. So, we'll announce that later this week. So we'll offer out our 3 wicks. So if we can get, I'll pick 3 winners, whoever comments and likes and shares this, and then we'll get your information. We'll get that sent out to you free of charge, so completely free on our end. Only thing I ask is, if you do end up winning, that you give us a review. But we're about to kick off the video. I got a real exciting episode here, and thank you all for your support through the video, through the business, and through life in general. Always appreciate it. Disclaimer: the information provided on this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. It should not be considered as financial advice. We are not licensed financial professionals, and any opinions shared are based on personal experiences and research. As always, do your own due diligence and consult with a certified financial advisor or professional before making any investment decisions. All right, everyone. So again, remember to comment, share, and like the post for a entry for free 3-wick 16 ounce candle of your choice, and then we'll get your information and we'll send that out to you free of charge. All right, so going over to the episode. So we are now going to talk about fractional shares and reinvesting your dividends. So you may be asking what a fractional share is. A fractional share is basically a portion of a full stock. Let's just say, for example, I like index funds. So let's just say, for example, we're going to use the S&P 500, right? So let's say the S&P 500 costs $100 and you only have $50 to invest. You can still invest that $50 into the S&P 500. Instead of having a full share, you would have 0.5 shares. Now, again, you may be asking yourself, what's 0.5 shares? That's nothing. You're absolutely right. But it's better than, not starting at all. And then over time, once you start getting into the habit of following the dollar cost averaging approach, you're really going to start building that habit and want to start building your portfolio. So if you've been following that method throughout the year, as you can see, we were basically in correction territory with the stock market. Things weren't looking good for the year. And then there was recent news over the weekend that China and the U.S. had really good talks about trying to end the trade war, 90-day pause on the tariffs. I think they still have about like a 20 or 10% in, but much better than where they were at, plus 120, plus 140%. So definitely hoping for a good outcome for that, because if you see the market really boomed off of that news, and if you were buying that dip over the past couple months, yesterday was a good day for you. So definitely want to definitely want to pat yourself on the back. Yesterday was a great day for anyone who got started or anyone who was buying that dip. Stock market really been exploding. So fractional shares were actually created in 1999, right? But they weren't really popular. The whole world of investing has changed over the past couple of years because of technology. Back then you had to go through a actual broker, paper slips, things of that nature. Now you can do everything right on your phone, which makes it 10 times easier for you to get started with investing. So fractional shares became popular in 2019 because people started to realize, we can, Robinhood really pushed the fractional shares as well. They really campaigned on that, but people start to realize you can still get into the market at your pace, at your time, right? You can still get into the market. Maybe you won't be able to buy the full stock, but at least you got a piece of it, right? At least you got a piece of the company. At least you got a piece of that index fund. So that was it for the fractional shares. We're going to move on, why it's beneficial for you to have the fractional shares. All right. So why are fractional shares beneficial? So they're beneficial for a few reasons. So again, you heard me say it earlier. It allows you to get into the market at your pace and build up your egg nest, especially if you're starting young. Congratulations to you. But it is a great way to get started in investing. So even though you may not have all the money to just put into the market, you can have some. Even if you're putting $25 a month in, eventually you'll be able to put $25 a month in over time, and you're still putting something into the market for it to grow. So if the market grows 8% for the $25, you get an 8% return. That's an 8% return you initially wouldn't have. So that's why I think it's really good to get started with the fractional shares. You don't have to do anything fancy to buy into a fractional share. You just go to the index that you want. Let's just say, for example, VOO, which tracks the S&P 500. It's an ETF. Let's just say you go VOO, and let's just say, again, we're going to use the $100. It's not $100 right now, but let's just say, for easy math, put $50 in, $25 in, buy the fraction, because over time you'll start building those shares. Put $50 in twice to the $100. That's one whole share that you got right there. And then you can build the dividends, which we'll continue going over later in the video, but you can build the dividends. And with that dividend, that makes you buy more shares into that stock. So over time, your dividends are going to be greater over time than what they're going to be starting out. But that can really change the game. And then we're going to go over why it's important to reinvest. Now, for me personally, though, when it comes to stocks, I do prefer ETFs and indexes over individual stocks. The reason why is because, you take a company like GoPro, whose stock completely tanked and never came back. But, again, if you've been following the recent news, the recent trends you've been putting into the market recently, you see all major indexes had a nosedive, but all major indexes just bounced back. Not all major companies may bounce back off their individual stock. But again, you have the indexes there. You have multiple companies in there. So let's just say the index had 20 companies. If 18 out of those 20 companies perform real well, you're going to be in good shape. If you own those two other companies that were just negative, then that puts you into a negative spot in your portfolio for the year. So that's why I prefer the indexes. Now, I do definitely plan on owning individual companies, probably 5 to 7 individual, but those are going to be like the top companies. So like your Nvidias of the world, your Amazons of the world, so things of that nature. But if you're looking for the fractional shares, get your notes out, do your research. A lot of platforms do offer the fractional shares now for you to get started. I know Robinhood, Fidelity, Charles Schwab. So those are a couple that offer them. See what platform works for you. Create the profile. They're going to ask for your personal information like any other institution. Create your profile, create your individual account, and get started. All right, so now we're going to switch gears. We're going to talk about reinvesting your dividends. And what is a dividend? So for you who don't know, a dividend is a distribution of a company's profits to its shareholders. So it's basically paid out on a set schedule. So typically you can see dividends be paid out like monthly or quarterly. It all depends on the index or the stock that you have. again, before you buy into any of these, do your research, take your notes out, and then they will tell you, if they do pay out monthly or quarterly. And then what will happen is, so once they pay that dividend out, I know for me in my portfolio, my dividends get paid out and they get reinvested back into that index or that stock. So I actually don't have to do anything with the dividends there. So it does it for me. So it pays me a dividend, and then you literally see the next transaction, the dividend goes back into that stock. So I'm not nowhere near at the point right now where I can just go live on my dividends. That's just not realistic at this moment. So I'm gonna let it build for me over time, right? So I'm gonna let my dividends buy more stocks. I'm gonna put more money into the market, which then allows me to have greater dividends the next time it gets paid out, and then it starts to again snowball into bigger and bigger and bigger payouts over time. So that 15-cent payout right now will be massive, down the road. So I know, even for me with the S&P, my last dividend payout for that through my 401k was $85. But I started, pennies on the dollar, essentially, when I started. And now it's at $85 a payout. So it's definitely nice, because that's $85 I didn't have. And that's $85 that goes back into buying that individual stock or that individual index. So again, remember, this is long term. So everyone does have to start somewhere. So, this is going to be a snail race. It really is. This is not no quick, rich scheme, any of that nature. It's, building wealth, building money the right way, and understanding that it's going to take time. So that's why if you're young, it's really good for you to get started now. All right. So why should you reinvest your dividends? Really, only got a few main points for this here. To me, that makes the most sense. So one, reinvesting your dividends can help you obviously buy more shares into that index or that stock that you have. So when you buy more shares, that gives you a bigger payout for a dividend. Let's just say, a company does, 25 cents per share they're going to pay out per quarter. If you own 4 shares, you essentially get $1 through that quarter. Again, it sounds small, but as you can hear from earlier in the episode, how I mentioned, I was at the dollar range through my 401k, and now I'm getting $85. It builds over time, and if you stay consistent with it, you'll really start to see it explode. And that's just only going to free up, again, more money for you. And this is why I think it's important to reinvest, because now you're getting more money to compound over time. So you get more money, and it's money that's paid out from that company or from that index. So you're getting that money over time that you can reinvest, and it will only strengthen, your compounding interest over time. Why not? It's free money. It's money that you essentially didn't have to essentially work for. This is all passive income. There's a lot of people out there that they live strictly on dividends. It takes them a while to get there. But if you do get to that point where you are able to live on dividends, congratulations to you, because you're truly living off your passive income. Now, there are some caveats to that. So if that's something that you want to explore, you definitely want to make sure you get with a financial advisor, you do your research, you take your notes, because, living off of just passive income isn't all just sunshine and rainbows. The market really dictates a lot of things, and there's a lot of things that go into the market that's out of the market's control. So keep that in mind if that is a goal that you have. All right, and last but not least, you can automatically reinvest your dividends. There is, a lot of stocks or indexes will automatically do it for you. But depending on what platform you have, then you may have to go into your actual settings and actually set it up for automatic redistribution of your dividends. But again, I hope this video helps. I hope you bought the dip when it was low, and I hope you had a really good Monday, because you're really starting to see the gains come through for the talks. Hopefully that we're able to end this trade war, and we are all able to see green in our portfolios when we log in. Again, so I hope all the mothers had a great Mother's Day. Thank everyone for the love and the support. I'm definitely glad to be back with the candles. That's something that's near and dear to us. So, we do have a couple events coming up. So we do, I'll announce those through our candle page as well, Kai Wicks LLC. That's on Facebook. I will drop the link in there as well. But truly, truly thank you all for the support, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day.